Okay, we try to look at what we call unit vector. Unit vectors. What does it actually takes for you to understand this simple concept? A unit vector, this is a vector which is expressed or which is just a ratio of a given vector to its magnitude. This is a ratio of the original vector to its magnitude. Simple. A simple definition that you can easily understand. That's what we call a unit vector. And if I've been given vector A, I want to find the unit vector of vector A. How do you find the unit vector of vector A? We normally put something like an apostrophe on top, or something which expresses or which can show something like maybe you are dealing with the angle. So a unit vector is expressed like this. For vector A to find its unit vector, you have to write it like this. This is my unit vector. I will say it is equal to vector A over the magnitude of vector A. That's why in the definition we said it has to be the ratio of the original vector to what? To its magnitude. The original vector to its magnitude. The original vector to its magnitude. Alright. So let me take a good example from what we are doing, because unit vectors, these are the things that you have to be rushing on whenever a question has come. But you find that mainly they normally ask a question based on dot product and cross product. If you check in a lot of past papers, you find that these are the same things that you have to be asked. So here we have vector A, which is given as vector A. Here we said, just get back a bit, say it has to be I minus 2j plus 4k. What are you supposed to do for you to find the unit vector here? What are we supposed to do for you to find the unit vector? So unit vector, we say A has to be equal to vector A over the magnitude, just write this, the magnitude of what? Of vector A. So you have to start with the magnitude of vector A. Okay, so I'll say the magnitude of vector A has to be equal to, the magnitude of vector A has to be equal to, say, root of 1 square negative 2 square plus 4 square. And if we do calculations, we are going to find that it will give us root of 21. Okay, meaning that the unit of A has to be equal to, the original vector has to be on top, I minus 2j plus 4k over. So since the vector most of the times they do not have, or it's very difficult for you to specify a given direction for this vector. In short, if they haven't mentioned something like a specific direction for that same vector, meaning that when writing it, you need to put plus or minus before the root. Reason being, they haven't included something like a direction of that same vector. And now you can just move this to plus or minus on the left hand side, and the unit vector of A is going to look like this. It is going to be plus or minus, I'll say, open bracket, I minus 2j plus 4k over root of 21, or close. This has to be the unit vector of A. As simple as that. That's how we find what we call the unit vector. It also applies to vectors that have been multiplied. It also applies to vectors that has been multiplied. And what do you call those vectors whenever you multiply them? Sometimes they can even give you to say, find a perpendicular vector of two given vectors. If a question has come like that, they say, can you calculate? Or they say, vector C is perpendicular to vector A and B. Find vector C. What they mean is, you write vector C like this. You say C has to be equal to A multiplied by B. Any vector you're going to get after cross multiplying, that is what we call a perpendicular vector, which is going to be vector C at this moment of time. If they ask you to say, given that, or maybe they give you a unit vector already, they want you now to calculate for a given vector. It is very, very simple again to do that. How possible is that? Having been given the unit vector already, if they say the unit vector of A is given as blah, 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 calculate vector A. Calculate vector A. We are going to use the same formula which is given here. To calculate for vector A, what are you supposed to do? Just make vector A the subject of what? The subject of the formula, and you'll be able to calculate the unit vector for that same vector. As simple as that. So this is how we do calculate the unit vector. If you want to find the unit vector for this one, you are going to write it like this. You just say vector C, unit vector C has to be equal to the original vector that you are going to get here, has to be on top, A multiplied by B over the magnitude of A cross B. That's how we do calculate. And we know how to calculate for what? For any vector which has been expressed in a form of A cross B, including the magnitude of A cross B. It can also be very, very simple for us to calculate that same magnitude. That's how we do calculate for these unit vectors. Thank you for watching.